I'm Clint Helmuth, and here at Helmuth Ford, customers are not just a number, they are family, and we will treat you like family.
Your safety is our focus. That's why we are a full-service repair facility.
If you're looking for a vehicle with low miles, a great price, and a friendly atmosphere, come visit us here at Helmuth Ford.
We do our best to put you in the vehicle that you want, that you love, and that is safe for your family.
See our full inventory at helmuthford.com.
We look forward to seeing you soon at Helmuth Ford in Sigourney.
The City of Sigourney is accepting applications for a position of full-time certified police chief. All applicants must be currently certified as a peace officer and must meet Iowa Law Enforcement Academy requirements for the position, which requires testing. Salary will range from $65,000 to $75,000 and will be dependent on qualifications and experience. Offer includes a $5,000 sign-on bonus plus a full benefits package. Request an application from the Sigourney City Clerk at 100 North Main Street in Sigourney. Applications and resumes will be accepted until the position is filled. Watch Pekin Panther football live right here this fall on Steve Shetler Media, Facebook, and YouTube with live announcers and an updated scoreboard, plus an area scoreboard to keep you updated on other schools of interest. It's Pekin Panther football live right here on Steve Shetler Media. Sigourney Keota football fans, Steve Shetler Media is teaming up with Clint Dye of Tag Team Photography to bring you coverage of Sigourney Keota football this fall. You've seen Clint's fantastic photos of Sigourney Keota football over the last few years. And now Clint is bringing those talents to be showcased on Steve Shetler Media. We're going to have pictures and action shots of each and every game, an in-depth article, and a video highlight of the game as well. You won't miss a thing with Sigourney Keota football coverage right here this year on Steve Shetler Media. And welcome into Pekin High School for Pekin Panther football here on Steve Shetler Media. We've got Pekin against Columbus tonight, and we do thank all of our sponsors for making our broadcasts possible, and that includes Helmuth Ford as our headline sponsor, Keokuk County Hospital and Clinics, Fairfield Precast Concrete, Sigourney Body Shop, Shetler Insurance Services, Pilot Grove Savings Bank, Copeland Auto Body, Son-in-Law Services, South Ottumwa Savings Bank, Barnwired, Fremont Funeral Chapel, Oski Dental, Sinclair Tractor, Sinclair Napa, Federation Bank, Gobbler Creek Seeds, Cranston Family Funeral Home, Nutrien Ag Solutions, Bridget's Public House in Oskaloosa, and Adam Clark for Sheriff, also on board as a sponsor for the rest of the Pekin Panther football season. We take it over to Mr. Josh Clubb with the call of tonight's game. Josh, what's happening?
Oh, just getting ready for this one, a Class A District 5 matchup between the Columbus Wildcats and Pekin Panthers. And if you tuned into the volleyball and all last night, if not, I'm gonna say it all again. But this will probably be the first test for the Panthers, or first true test for the Panthers. I think this game will be a lot closer than the outcome of the others. Pekin's first three games, of course, lopsided victories for the Panthers, 54-10, most recently last week against Danville. Prior to that, beating Van Buren County 54-0 and Cardinal 76-0. Pekin actually in the top 5 in the state of Iowa in point differential, with those only giving up 10 points last week, or the first 10 points they gave up, and 7 of those 10 points kind of happened as the game was wrapped up and some substitutes and things like that were in. So good test for them tonight with Columbus coming in. One thing to note, I'm sure Pekin Panther fans know this, but they have yet to beat the Columbus Wildcats since, or the last 3 meetings, I should say. Columbus has won the last 3 since they entered the same districts, 56-24, 53-28, 42-14. So Pekin certainly want to keep this winning streak going and look for a victory here tonight. Speaking of some of the stats in players worth noting, of course, Will Adam, Pekin's Will Adam, in Class A. He's the second in the state in touchdowns with 12. Just above him is Lucas Nunikoven of North Mahaska with 13. Of those touchdowns, 8 of them are rushing touchdowns. That's good for a tie for third in the state with Bradley Bixel of West Hancock. A couple other stat leaders. That Will Adam also has 12 offensive touchdowns, which leads Class A. He is actually tied for the lead. He's tied with Lucas Nunikoven of North Mahaska. Total offensive yards, he's got this one by a little over 100 yards. He's currently got 893 offensive yards. That's first in Class A. Next closest is 779, and that's Kane Julius, a senior out of, I'm not going to be able to say this right, but I'll try, Sibley Ochiadon in Class A District 1.
Oh, yeah, him.
Yeah, no. That's the school name.
Oh, okay.
Him is Kane Julius. I can say that. Well, maybe I'll have you peek over here and look at my notes. But
Is it Sidney O'Cheaton?
Sibley Ochidian. Yeah. It's the first time I've ever seen that school when I was looking up those stats here tonight. So, nonetheless, he's got the second most. But like I said, about 110, 11, 12 or so yards away from Adam. Robert Brown with that, he's got 100 interception return yards. That's good for second in the state. And then you have Riley Smith with his punt return yard average is 31.2. That's good for first in the state. Next closest is 15.5, and that's Cale Witt of Tri-Center. Riley Smith also leads the state in punt return yards at 187. Of course, not to steal his glory, but Pekin has forced a lot of punts this year with that defense and only given up those 10 points. So Smith has had his fair share of opportunities. As I mentioned, this would be a challenge for the Panthers, and I would say one of the bright spots of the Panthers season not only is Will Adams' offensive performance, but the defensive line all the way back to the scrimmage against some 2 and 3 and 4A teams. Pekin's defensive line has just been a dominant force, creating a lot of penetration. First couple of games in the year, barely even giving up an offensive yard, let alone a point. So, but they'll have their work cut out for them. Columbus has got a star running back, and that is number 42, Riley Kellenberg, a senior. He's carried 65 times, 467 yards, averaging 7.2 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns, and his longest on the year is 80. Mind you, that's with 2 losses because Columbus is 1-2 on the season. So, also worth noting, they've ran 129 offensive plays, and he's carried the ball 65 of those 129 plays. So, heavy dose. Watching them warm up. He's quick. He can move quick. They run a lot of traps around him. He's pretty much going up the middle or trying to hit the outside corner. So, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with, and I think it's time for the national anthem, Steve. National anthem out of the way as Pekin will get ready to take the field here and break the banner. And tonight the banner says, if you can't read it on your screen, camo can't hide our Panther pride. So that's the banner. It's a big one too tonight. That's a very wide banner for them to bust through here tonight. So
That's a
let you watch that.
phenomenal banner.
It is a phenomenal banner. It's absolutely one. As I was saying, though, Riley Kalenberg, the senior, the go-to guy on the Wildcat offense, so the defensive line will have to stop that. And Steve and I noticed here during warm-ups, Columbus Junkson's got some pretty big guys on their offensive line and defensive line. So be interesting to watch the battle in the trenches here tonight as Pekin goes up against a bigger set of opponents. Now they did in that scrimmage. We're going up against 4A and 3A school and held their own and still got the penetration to move those big guys around. So see if they can get low and get some leverage on those guys here tonight. Right around here in district play, Lisbon and Pekin still tied atop at 3-0 on the season. Highland is at 2-1. Columbus at Danville and Wapello are at 1-2 and 0-3 on the year. Louisa Muscatine and Van Buren County. And as far as district matchups tonight, Highland is hosting Lisbon. Louisa Muscatine is hosting Danville. And then Wapello is hosting Van Buren County. Some of the area matchups that Steve will have updating as we get scores on the scoreboard there at the bottom of your screen, rotating through there. Martinsdale St. Mary is at North Mahaska. You got the Oskaloosa and Atumwa rivalry matchup. That is at Oskaloosa at the William Penn Field there. You got Mediapolis taking on Albia. That's at Albia. Colfax Mingo is at Eddyville Blakesburg Fremont. Cardinal is at Sigourney. Cardinal, a recent opponent of these Pekin Panthers, and that is Sigourney's homecoming. Sigourney Kyoto, I should say, is homecoming there tonight. Waco is at HLVTC. Montezuma is at Winfield Mount Union, and English Valleys is at Iowa Valley. So those are your area matchups. We'll do our best to update those scores when we can on your screen. If you know the score to one of those games and we haven't updated it, feel free to send a comment to Steve on his Facebook page, and he can get that scoreboard updated. That is a manual process. We type those in. There's no feeder or anything like that to that. So
I wish. Is there something like that I could subscribe to? I need to do that.
I don't know. It's pretty hard to find those scores for some schools. But nonetheless, of course, we'll have this one all through the night here. Pekin and Columbus. Back to that. Let's just go over the yards. I mentioned most of these anyway, but some of them I have not yet. So passing yards for the Pekin Panthers, of course, it's Will Adams Sr. He's got 20. He's completed 25 of 30 passing attempts. He's got 524 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. He's rushed for 369 yards and 8 touchdowns. On the Wildcat side, you got Trevor Phillips, 14 for 23 with 203 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he's rushed for 13 yards. Columbus rushing yards, Riley Kalenberg, as we mentioned, 65 attempts, 467 yards, 6 touchdowns. He's got 21 receptions and a touchdown, or 21 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown receiving. Will Adam actually leads the Panthers in rushing with 25 attempts and 369 yards, 8 total touchdowns, and a lot of those yards came a week ago tonight at Danville. Tyson Kalenberg for the Columbus Wildcats leads the way reception-wise. He's got 6 for 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's rushed for 97 yards and 2 touchdowns. Robert Brown for the Panthers, his receptions leader with 9 receptions, 264 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Total tackles for the Panthers, Henry Adams, sophomore, 16 tackles, 2 interceptions. For the Columbus Wildcats, you'll guessed it, Riley Kalenberg, also a defensive force. He's got 21 and a half tackles and 1 tackle for loss. Coin flip has happened. Columbus has won the toss and will receive. They'll go from our left to our right, so Pekin opposite of that, as we are just about to get underway here as they get the Napa scoreboard all set up and timed up accordingly, and we
should mention that we don't have Zach Wise at our dispense tonight. He has some prior commitments that he couldn't be with us this evening. So I know Zach has his fans out there, his fan base, rabid fan base, wondering where he is at tonight. So
yes,
Zach will come back next week.
I'm sure we'll get some people asking, but yes, Zach he'll be back. He's not MIA like he was at the scrimmage. We know where he's at this time. So as Columbus will take the field. To receive the kickoff, I would assume it's Mr. Henry Adam out there kicking. Had a great night kicking, actually attempting and converting on the first extra points of the season last week, which is a great sign for the Panthers. Back deep to receive for the Wildcats will be number 21, Angel Venzo, and number 42, Riley Kalenberg.
We do have Zach in the comments. He is listening. So.
All right. Hi, Zach. Here comes the kick from Henry Adam. Lines him up at the 40. Boots this one. It's a spiraling kick fielded by number 21, Angel Venzor, at the 15-yard line. He's wrapped up at about the 23-yard line, and that's where the Wildcats will start their drive. And also, if I pause for periods of time without Zach here, I am keeping the stats too, so I'll have to look down and write every once in a while. Here is the front five for Pekin out there. As Phillips lines up with Kallenberg to his left. Man in motion comes across to hand it to Kallenberg. He goes off to the right side, and he's swallowed up at the 25-yard line. Gain of about 2. Bring up second down and 8. It's just underway here. Get each other out, and we'll see what Columbus drives. Now they're going to get back to the split back. Saw this a lot in warm-ups and on film that this is their go-to formation. Kallenberg behind Phillips. Under center, they load the near side. Hand off to Kallenberg again. He hits the left tackle, tripped up initially, and then tackled at the 30. A flag does come in. I believe this is going to be a holding on the Wildcats. Spots that ball at the 19-yard line. Line of scrimmage, so it is 4th and 16 and a punt.